What's up? Welcome to Hangin with Stats, episode 2. Tonight's episode, I'm going to recap the most recent No Prep Kings race, which was Virginia. I'm going to recap the most recent Street Outlaws show, which was Monday night, locals only. And I'll talk about this upcoming weekend, the upcoming show, starting next week, new show, Mega Cash Days. So this is my second episode of this. This is more of like a live Q&A, a recap of the most recent stuff going on in Street Outlaws. I'm not interviewing a driver tonight, as far as I know. So you just get me. I want to give a couple shout outs first. Obviously my partners, as you can see down there on the little scrolling bar. How you doing, Silverado Scott? My partner is No Prep Racing. Shout out to No Prep Racing. Go to www.noprep.com. They have all the no prep information you want, not just Street Outlaws. So check them out. They're also on Facebook. And then also shout out to Nate Saylor Racing. Hey Bob, how you doing, man? Brian, yes, I'm going to Minnesota. Nate Saylor Racing. He's currently in the Invitational. I think he's racing his way in this week. But shout out to Nate. He's a future guy last year. He's in the big show this year. Very fast. Check him. You can check him out on Facebook, Instagram, Nate Saylor Racing. So I want to give a couple more shout outs. Last week, I want to give a shout out to Larry Larson. He won the Outlaw Big Tire last week. If you don't know what Outlaw Big Tire is basically anybody who's in the future class, anybody who doesn't make it into the big show can race in it, and also the first round losers of the Invitational. If you lose in the first round, you can race. So basically a race again, race your way up again, race. So Larry went out in the first round last week, but he got into the Outlaw Big Tire, and he won the whole thing. So congrats to Larry. Good to see him doing well. He's been on the struggle bus for a little while now. So shout out to him. And then I want to give a shout out to all the future guys from last year who made it to the big show this year. Some of them are really making their name known for them. Dana Merchant, Kyle Canyon, Nate Saylor, Manny, they're all running well this year. So shout out to all the future guys who are earning their way, as you say, into the big show. So, all right, let's get into it. I'll take questions at the end. I'll sit down here and read all your questions and answer as many questions as I can. I'll try to look up every once in a while and follow along with the comments. But so most recently on TV, we just saw the last 2 episodes, including the finale of Locals Only. Saw a lot of comments on Facebook over the season, and it was pretty much in the middle. Some like it, some don't. I enjoyed it. It's cool to see all the small tire guys that you've heard of or I follow on Facebook or social media that aren't on Street Outlaws, but you got to see them on Street Outlaws this year. So it's cool to see those guys. I like the finale they did. I wish all of the guys who won their event would have raced in the finale or got a chance to. According to the show, they weren't able to make it. So that was a little disappointing in that. But the finale was awesome. Shout out to Dylan Wells, who won with his Fox body. And Dylan Wells is, if you don't know, he's not a stranger to Street Outlaws. Dylan used to race No Prep Kings early on. I believe season 1. He raced Street Outlaws No Prep Kings. He had a baby blue kind of color with black stripes. He had a Mustang. So he's no stranger to any of this. So it was cool to see him though out there. And then a shout out to Brent Albury. I think I'm saying his last name right. I first saw him. We first saw him on Fast in America. He was on Team Bodie this past season. He was really fast. I just remember him for being having quite the personality on the show. His car always looks like the front tires are barely on the ground. Squatting hard while he's making his run. But shout out to him too. He did really well. He won his event and made it to the finals and lost to Dylan Wells. So it's cool seeing those guys. We're gonna see them a lot more, especially with Mega Cash Days coming up on TV. And then just in the future, because if Street Outlaws keeps doing stuff with small tire stuff, you're gonna see a lot of those guys again. So I enjoyed it. It was cool. That Bob guy. Who was the cat on Bodie's team that was on Locals Only? Yeah, Brent Albury. That's the guy. Richard Rowe, you bum, get your ass to Brainerd. So somebody, I'll be there soon, Richard. I'm coming, man. I gotta work. I know I can't just travel around the world and see things like you can, buddy. I gotta work a day job, so I'll be there Friday. So locals, I like locals only. I thought it was a cool show, man. So shout out to those guys doing well. It's Brent Albury. I think it was funny seeing them race the Outlaws at the final. I think obviously none of them were fair races, so they had to do a lot of negotiating. I think some of them might have just, some of the Outlaws might have just gave it up, and said, I'll agree to this, even though they shouldn't have, just to make it a show, just to make it a run. But hey, Melissa, how you doing? What's up, Edward? But yeah, for the most part, I liked it. And they're filming another season of Locals Only currently at the No Prep Kings event. So we will see season 2 coming out next year, probably around this time. So, and then they announced next Monday is with Locals Only being done now, the new show on Monday nights is Mega Cash Days, season 2. If you remember, Mega Cash Days season 1 was on Big Tires. Brandon James, who nobody knew of, came out of nowhere, basically, and won the whole thing. He beat Dennis Bailey in the final. So this coming up Monday is first episode of Mega Cash Days, but the only difference is from last time to this time is this year's small tires. You see a small tire. You see a lot of the Street Outlaws guys on small tires, and then you'll see some of the small tire guys who race on those regularly. So it'll be a good mix, I think, of guys. I saw the list of drivers released today. So it's gonna be cool, I think. It's double elimination, a 64 car field, double elimination. So be lots of episodes of it. It'll be good racing. It'll be cool. Mega Cash Days, small tire. So that starts next Monday. So let's talk about No Prep Kings. Last week's race was Virginia. I'm going to recap the rounds, who won, who did well, in case you missed it. There was a bunch of live feeds going on, as always, but yeah, JJ will be there. He will be on small tires. A bunch of the Memphis guys will be there. So let's go to Virginia. Let's recap the rounds. So round 1. So there was a race your way in from the previous race, and a bunch of cars had to race their way in. I think 10 cars got in, and then the remaining 2 were a chip draw. That's usually how they do that. So in round 1, we saw Kai Kelly beat Marty Robertson. Swanstrom beat B-Rad. Jim Howe beat Daddy Dave. That was a tough race right from the beginning. Howe and Dave, that's a tough draw for round 1. And Howe got the better of Dave. Lizzie beat Rankin. Kyle Canyon beat Nate Saylor. That was a battle of the new future guys. Rich Reuter beat Manny Alvarez. Bobby beat Jeff Lutz. Caleb Morton beat Chuck 55. Robin Roberts took out Ryan Martin in the first round. That was surprising. You don't really see Ryan, I don't think, ever. There's a stat for you. I don't think I've ever seen Ryan Martin blow the tires off right away like that. So that was interesting to see. And obviously, if you do that, you're not going to win. So Robin beat Ryan in round 1. Damon beat Larry Larson. Scott Taylor beat Mike Murillo. David Gates beat Mike Bowman. Dominator, that was one of the things too. So with this new format, you can send guys down to the reserve pool and bring somebody up. So Birdman had qualified for the Invitational from the previous race. Don't know why I didn't ask, but he got released down, or he got sent down, and Dominator, who wasn't drafted, he was in the reserve pool. He actually wasn't even at the first race. He came to Virginia, and he actually got to take Birdman's spot in the Invitational on Team Murillo. And then Dominator went and had him beat Murder Nova in the first round. So shout out to Dom, coming in like that, not even drafted, and getting your first win. So that was cool to see. And then X-Man beat Brandon James. Callie Mills beat Greg Chandler. And Giuseppe beat Disco Dean. There's a lot of big names I just listed off that lost in the first round there. Daddy Dave, Jeff Lutz, Ryan Martin. So those are guys who were in the top 5 last year, top 10 last year that lost in the first round of the first points race. So as you can see, they are behind the 8 ball to start the season, which is as competitive as this field is this year. It's not somewhere you want to be. But so round 2, we saw Giuseppe beat Bobby. Kyle Canyon got another win. Shout out to him as a future guy going rounds. He beat Dominator. My boy David Gates beat Rich Bruder. Damon had a big win against Scott Taylor. Jim Howe and Kayla. That was a hell of a second round matchup. Jim Howe took out Kayla. Kayla was the first race winner, as everybody knows. Howe was flying this weekend. Howe took out Kayla. And then next we had Kai versus Swanstrom. They had that rivalry going on for a little while now. So Kai was looking really fast. Obviously, he beat Swanstrom, and then Axeman took out Callie, Lizzie, and then Lizzie took out Robin. So your semifinals, Damon beat Kyle as battle of the future guys. Both of them trying to make their mark. I had Damon on the show last night. He said that was kind of like an important race for both of those guys. Seeing they're trying to make a name for themselves. So whoever was going to win that one, we're better off as of right now. So Damon beat Kyle. Kai Kelly got a big win against Giuseppe. Jim Howe got another win. He beat Axeman. And then battle of the teammates, Lizzie beat David Gates. So your final 4 from Virginia was Jim Howe versus Kai Kelly and battle of the Screwblowers. If you remember from week 1, race 1, Kai said he was looking up on YouTube how to tune a screwblower. I think Jim Howe was messing around with him, and maybe took a little bit of offense to that. But Kai got around him. So I saw a post earlier this week from Jim Howe saying that he was asking Kai for what that YouTube page was so he can look it up, see how to become a better tuner for screwblowers. So that should be a funny little storyline going forward. So Kai beat Jim Howe, and then Damon, another huge win for Damon. Another upset, if you want to call it. He took out Lizzie Musey in the semifinals. And then the finals, Kai versus Damon. Kai got the win. Talked to Damon about it last night. There was a lot of misinterpretation of what actually happened. It was, according to Damon, he might have got pulled in too far. His car also stalled and died. There was just a lot going on for him. And by the time he got his car rolling again, Kai was already in his second ball. And, Kai was just racing. Kai's just doing what he's doing. He doesn't know what's going on with Damon's car, So you can't fault Kai. It's not like Kai was going to wait for him or whatever. So Kai pulled in his beams and double, hit the 2 balls, and away he went and got the win. Obviously, everybody, I think, even Kai or Damon wanted to see a race there, an actual race. Thought it would be a good one, but that's drag racing, man. Stuff like that happens. So Kai got the win, his first win of the year. So Kai was flying. Kai was really, really fast. I didn't see one hit he made that were like he had to pedal or that bad, or he had to, he got lucky and the other guy didn't. I mean, he made full hits. So it was nice to see. Thanks, Rodney. How you doing, man? Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. What's up, Chris? I'll be in Brainerd, man. I'll be coming there Friday. Be there Friday around noon. Okay, so that was the Virginia race on Saturday. We also had the grade 8 on Friday night. Kai won the invitation on Saturday, which was also team points and everything like that. I'll explain all that in a minute. But Friday night we had the grade 8. Who raced who in the grade 8? So the grade 8 was the top 8 from the previous Saturday's race, and that's how it started out. But that's not how it's going to go from now on. So basically, the grade 8 was Daddy Dave raced Kai Kelly. Kai beat Dave, and then Ryan Martin beat David Gates. Chuck 55 beat Mike Bowman, and Kayla beat Scott Taylor. This was on Friday night in Virginia. In the semis, Ryan took on Kayla. Ryan Martin beat Kayla. and Kai Kelly, he took on Chuck 55, and Kai Kelly beat Chuck 55. So the Friday night grade 8 finale was Ryan Martin versus Kai Kelly, which we've seen a million times before. And Kai's my boy, but a million times before, Ryan beat Kai. Just the same thing. So Ryan beat Kai in the grade 8. I won't share what the head-to-head is, overall record, but Ryan's got a couple races on Kai, I'd say. So Ryan was a grade 8 winner Friday night. Saturday night invitational winner was Kai Kelly. So what I want to talk about is first of all, I want to talk about my surprises. So my biggest surprise of that weekend was definitely Damon. Not taking a shot at Damon or anything. He was a future guy last year. He was drafted in the 4th round. He had won one round the week before and then was taken on the 2nd round. So I wasn't surprised he went some rounds, but I was a little surprised honestly, I was really surprised he beat Lizzie in the semis to go to the finals because Lizzie had beat him in the 2nd round the week before. And I just didn't know if Damon was at that level yet, and he clearly is. Damon is definitely at that level. I really wish him and Kai would have had an actual race in the finale. But so my surprise for sure was Damon. Awesome dude, great guy, and he's really fast, man. There's no denying it. One person that I was not surprised with was Kai. Kai is always fast. Kai is always there. He's always fast early on in the season. I mean, Kai has taken 2nd place to Ryan the last few years in a row. So Kai is always near the top. He always wins some events. So and he won the last 2 years at Virginia. So I was not surprised that he won his 3rd in a row. Kai was fast. And then overreaction. They call it in football. They call it overreaction Monday, where after the games on Sunday, they say everybody overreacts about good teams doing bad or blah blah blah. So my overreaction Monday, I guess you call it, is Ryan Martin and going out in the 1st round. So I've seen on Facebook, and I think it's the fact that Ryan's been so dominant for so long. People are just waiting for Ryan to have a hiccup, right? People are just waiting for Ryan to not be dominant. And any little thing that happens, they think, oh, this is it. Ryan's not dominant anymore. Ryan's not going to win anymore. And so let's just look at what's happened so far this year. Okay. Now the first race was not a points race, but Ryan did go to the semifinals. Okay. So he was there. I mean, he went really far. He went to the semifinals in the first race. Virginia, the next race, Ryan won the grade 8 on Friday night. Like he won it. He beat Kai in the grade 8 for the final. So Ryan has lost in the 1st round before. Not often, but he has lost in the 1st round before. There are times where Ryan starts the year and he's not the points leader to start the year. So before everybody overreacts and gets all crazy, this is Ryan Martin we're talking about. I expect him to come back this week and be strong and do really well. So my overreaction Monday is for Ryan Martin, and everybody just needs to relax. It's still Ryan Martin we're talking about here. So so that's that. I do want to talk about the points because I've seen a lot of confusion, and trust me, I was confused at first. I actually had to reach out to some people to figure out some points and how the races work and everything like that. So I'm going to try to explain to you the best I can. So the grade 8 is on Friday night, and the invitational is on Saturday, same as last year. Okay, everything's pretty much the same as last year. It's just how they're doing the points part of it. So last year, the grade 8, if you won the grade 8, you got 20 points. And if you were the runner-up in the grade 8, you got 10 points. Okay? Those points were added to your Saturday invitational total to give you a grand total of your points in the season. Okay? This year, it's different. Grade 8, if you win the grade 8, you get 10 points. If you're the runner-up, you get 7 points. And if you are semifinal, you get 3 points. Okay? Those points do not get added to your points on Saturday. The grade 8 is its own point scale, its own race, its own thing. The winner at the end of the season, the winner of the grade 8 will be crowned the individual champion. Okay, so that's how I understand how it's working for the grade 8. When is it going to start airing on TV? Not for a couple months. Last year they aired it I think they went halfway through the season and started airing it. So you're probably not looking, I don't know, you're probably looking maybe August, September before it actually starts airing on TV. But so that's the grade 8. Its own points, its own thing. The winner of the grade 8 is the individual champion. Now Saturday is the same as last year, same point scale. You get 10 points for making it in the invitational, and you get 10 points for every round you go. So Kai Kelly made an invitational. There's 5 rounds of racing, and he won every round. So he got 60 points for this past Saturday. Now, that 60 points is good for 2 different things, okay? So Saturday, there is the team points championship. What they do is you take your team of 5 guys, and they add up all your points you earn on Saturday. So Kai Kelly's team currently is in the lead. His team of him, Lizzie, Gates, Bodie Jr., and Rankin, they tallied up 140 points on Saturday. So that is their team points, okay? So they are in the lead for the team championship on the season. That's how the team championship works for Saturday. Now, there's another part of Saturday that has nothing to do with the team, and that's how many points you earn for yourself. So Kai earned 60 points for his team, but he also earned 60 points for himself. And that's important. The points for yourself is important because each week, those points from Saturday, however many points you earn on Saturday for your season total, determines who is in the grade 8 for the next race. So it's the exact same thing as last year. It's not who the top 8 finished at the last race. It's the total points, the points standings, the top 8 people. So again, just like last year, you could see the same 12, 14 guys, 10, 12 guys racing in the grade 8 every Friday this year again. Exactly the same as last year. It's just the points do not combine. The grade 8 points do not combine with the Saturday invitational points. So Friday, it's its own thing. Grade 8 winner on the season will be the individual champion. Saturday, they're racing for your team points, and you're also racing for your own points to try to get into the grade 8. To try to be a grade 8 recipient every week, or an attendee every week. So hope that explains it. I know it's very confusing. I was very confused. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the grade 8 has to do with the team championship anyway. I guess I was under the assumption that Saturday was more of a team thing and only a team thing, but it's definitely an individual thing on Saturday too, because you're trying to get into the grade 8 for the following week. So that's how the points work. Currently, your top points guys for Saturday's Invitational. Kai's in first with 60. Dan Merchant's in second with 50. Lizzie and Jim Howe are tied for third with 40. David Gates, Axeman, Giuseppe, and Kyle Canyon are tied for fifth with 30 points. Those are your top 8. Those are your top 8 going, since they are the top 8 in points. They are the top 8 going to this Friday's grade 8. So we got Kai, Damon, Lizzie, Jim, David Gates, Axeman, Giuseppe, and Kyle Canyon. Those will be your grade 8 on Friday night. Now, I didn't mention Ryan Martin. Ryan Martin won the grade 8 week 1, or week 2, I should say. He won the first points grade 8. He is your current grade 8 leader with 10 points. But since he's not in the grade 8 for this week, he can't add any more points to the grade 8. Now, Kai is in second with 7 points, and he is also in the grade 8 this Friday. So he can actually add to his points. So that's how the grade 8 works. That's how the invitational works. It's going to be a long season. I just saw, up until I saw Street Outlaws Live post their stats today, or their points today, I wasn't 100% sure that my points that I posted were correct, but they are correct. So I was happy to see that. That just means I understood what the heck people were telling me. So shout out to everybody that reached out and tried to understand what the points were and everything like that. I'm sorry I didn't have the answer for you right away, but I did eventually get the answers. So it's going to be a fun season, keeping track of stats, continuing to have drivers on. No prep racing. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it, man. So let's get into some more stuff. This week in Minnesota. So I already discussed who's going to be in the grade 8. One thing I want to talk about is race your way in. So I don't know if you've seen it online or not. People posted about who is going to be in the grade, or who's already in the invitational, and then who's going to race your way in. So basically every week just like last year, only 32 guys can race in the Invitational on Saturday. 32. Now there's more than 32 guys who are in the big show, as I call it. There's actually 40. Okay, there's 8 teams of 5, so there's 40 guys in the big show, but only 32 can actually make the Invitational race. So that means every week there's a set number of guys that are automatically in, and there's a set number of guys that have to race their way in on Friday night. So this week, how it works, because it's the beginning of the year and the points are all like equal. There's 16 guys that are in the Invitational already. Those are your top 16 guys from last week. And then now there's 24 more guys that have to race their way in. So what I think they'll do is they already have 16 in. They'll do a head-to-head for the last 24 guys. So that'll be 12 more guys. So that'll be 28 guys in, and then they'll probably do a chip draw to determine who the final 4 guys are. But I wanted to mention that there are some big names in this race your way in. And I had interviewed drivers this past off season, and the biggest thing with competition and getting stronger is you don't want to fall behind the 8 ball, and you don't want to have to race your way in every week, because that's more stress on your car. That's more pressure on you to get something done. And you're behind now. You know what I mean? You really got to pull it off. You really got to put your shit together to make it. Christy, I'll go over the points in a second. Give me 1 second. Integrator, I'm not sure. I mean, that's possible, I guess. But as far as the points, I know, who was it? Murder Nova had all his numbers in on Saturday, and I didn't see any bonus points posted. So I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, for this week, for the race your way in, here are the guys who have to race their way in. And I'll just read off. So here are the guys that have to race their way in. There's Ryan Martin, Mike Bowman, Chuck 55, Daddy Dave, Brandon James, Larry Larson, Murder Nova, Nate Saylor, B-Rad, Chris Rankin, Disco Dean, Greg Chandler, Jeff Lutz, Manny Alvarez, Marty Robinson, and Mike Murillo. There's some interesting things from that race your way in. These guys are not guaranteed in the Invitational. So it's very interesting. One of the interesting things is there is Daddy Dave, Murder Nova, Disco Dean, Mike Murillo. There are four captains that are racing their way in. So there are 4 captains that are, and Bodie too. Sorry, 5 captains that are, they're not pulling their weight early on here, as you could say. Their teammates are getting in and they're not. So the captains have enough pressure as it is, being the team captain and trying to have the best team and pull them all together. And now they're under more pressure and they got to race their way in. So there's 5 captains got to race their in. Also, I want to list and comment on that. There are 5 guys who were in the top 10 last year in points at the end of the year. 5 guys that have to race their way in as well. That includes Ryan Martin, Daddy Dave, Jeff Lutz, Jerry Bird, and John Odom. Well, I missed a bunch of guys that got to race their way in. Anyway, so there's 5 guys that have to race their way in who were top 10 in points last year too. So needless to say, the competition is really strong. There's a lot of big names that are struggled already early in the season, and they need to change it around now before they get too far behind, and they'll just get left behind, and they'll be struggling every week to just race their way in and try to get a couple points here and there. So I think there's probably nothing worse for these guys, especially these fat guys who've been done well in the past, to come to the race and lose in the race your way in and be done for the weekend. They can always race an outlaw big tire. Some of them don't. So a lot of pressure on those guys. A lot of pressure on those guys for Friday night to race their way in. It should be interesting. The team total for this year, since Christy had asked for it. So this is from Saturday only points. Tonight, Kelly's team is in first place with 140 points. Daddy Dave and Bodie's team are tied for second with 90 points. Ryan Martin and Justin Swanstrom's team are tied for 4th with 80 points. Mike Murillo's team is 6th with 60 points. Nova's team is 7th with 50 points, and Disco Dean's team is 8th with 40 points. So it's early on yet. 15 points are gonna change drastically. I know that's how it is. There's a lot of tough teams in here. Some teams are getting their shit together right now. So yeah, 15 points. Kai first, Daddy Dave, Jay Bodie, Ryan Martin, Justin Swastrom, Mike Murillo, Murder Nova, and Disco Dean. Those are your standings for the team points. One thing I want to say about I will be at the Minnesota race this Saturday. So if you're going, come say hi to me. I'll be around all weekend. I'll get there Friday. One thing you should know, and they adjusted. I saw the times. Are you going to get one of those $20 cheesesteaks this weekend? No comment on that. One thing to note about Brainerd this weekend is they don't have lights, so everything is starting extremely early. I saw the times today, so I think the gates open up for VIP on Friday at noon, and the races start at 3 o'clock. And then Saturday, it's really early. Saturday the 8th, the gates open up at 9 a.m. and the racing starts at noon. So if you're going, pay attention to that. It's starting earlier than normal. Almost all the other tracks have lights, and they go, as you know, they can go late into the night. Brainerd does not have lights, so the racing needs to be done before it gets dark. So they're going to be starting really early. That's one thing to note. So if you can't make it, you're going to watch live feeds. The live feeds will be they'll be on early. All the stats and stuff, I'll be posting early. So, but if you can make it, please go. It's going to be a great weekend. The weather looks to be, I don't want to bring up the R word, but there might be some R in the weather. But otherwise, it also looks like it's supposed to be sunny for sure Friday. So we'll see. I got a couple stats that I want to share before I take questions. So if you have any questions, start posting them in the chat box. The stats. So as I just saw a post, someone asked a question about it. So last week, Kai won the last 2 seasons at Virginia. So he made it 3 in a row with his win. So this week is Brainerd, and Kai won last year in Brainerd. The first time they raced there in Brainerd, Kai won. He beat Jeff Lutz in the finals. So Kai is, again, this week, Kai is looking to defend his Brainerd title. Racing with, yeah, that's the only R word you say in racing. Don't say the other one. So Kai's going to be defending his title again. He's defending his win in Minnesota again this week. And also, cool stat, Scott Taylor just needs to go one more round to reach 100 for his career No Prep Kings in his career. So he has 99 round wins as of right now. So he needs one more to make 100 for his career, which currently he is 4th all time in round wins. Scott Taylor is. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. 100 wins, No Prep Kings, just over 6 seasons. So that's pretty much all I got to talk about right now. I think I explained the points. I talked about the results. Yeah. So questions. Let's look at questions. Has anyone won any events 3 years in a row other than Kai? No. No, they have not. Lutz and Dominator, yes. Lutz and Dominator had strong showings in Brainerd last year. So what were the participants in the grade 8 determined? Reset each week or cumulative? It's cumulative, Donald. Cumulative from Saturday. Yes, Saturday points. So they're racing for their team points, but they're also racing to get into they're also racing for their cumulative points to get into the invitational. So it's just like last year. Just like last year, where it's the top 8 in points that get to race at the next grade 8, not the top 8 finishers at that event. So appreciate it, Janet. Thank you for following along. Scott's never won an invitational event. No, he did win a team attack, I believe, in season 4. He's been to, I think, 7 finals overall in all the events, but he's never won. Whose camp will you be at? We'll have merch. I'll have my merch there. I'm not gonna have like a booth or nothing like that. I'll be around everywhere. But you'll see me a lot around by Ryan's camp for sure. Dr. Will, yeah, Dr. Will, yep, that's correct. Dr. Will last year in Brainerd as well. It's different. It's a different kind of race, man. It's all daytime racing. I know you see the guys, the track gets really good and sticky, and they go really fast at night in most of the races. But this is all daytime. It's all daytime racing, both Friday and Saturday. So it's a little different kind of atmosphere going on. You think any races are going to get benched this week? It's tough to say. I'd like to find out why Birdman got sent down for Dom, because Birdman then went ahead and raced in the Outlaw Big Time, and I think he went to the semifinals in that too. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe something was wrong with Birdman's car and they just sent him down for the week. Maybe he'll get picked back up this week. I'm not sure. But as you can see, last week it happened at the drivers' meeting. So I'm sure each week these transactions, as you call them, will probably happen at the drivers' meeting. That's when everybody will find out about it. Can Birdman be picked up by another team? Don't quote me on this, but I would think so, yes. I think he's in the reserve pool. I don't believe each team has their own reserve pool. I think it's just a pool of all the guys. So don't quote me on that, but I think Birdman should be able to be picked up by another team. Oh man, I'm looking for. I need some barbecue, Rodney. When I lived in Texas for a little while, man, and then I come back up here to Wisconsin, it's just our barbecue, so-called barbecue up here is not the same. It's not even close. So I do miss some real barbecue, that's for sure. I try to stop by everybody. It's just last race I went to in Ohio is just I wanted to meet everyone, so I didn't really try to hang out too much with one certain person or something like that. But I'll definitely be stopping by Swan's camp. Brian was met Brian. He's an awesome dude. So I'll definitely go hang out over there for a little while. Appreciate it, man. Man, I don't follow along that closely to what they're actually exactly running. But I think Birdman, did he dump? Did he go back to twin turbos? I don't know. I can't say. I forget. Someone else will know. If Birdman or anyone else earns points from multiple teams, that makes points tracking a bit tougher. Yeah, that's true, Donald. Not sure how that'll work out either. Yeah, I've watched some of the cooking shows that Big Country does on YouTube. He looks like he makes some good stuff. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it. Scott Parker, that's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen. No. I don't think any captain is gonna put themselves down into the reserve pool. I don't even know if they can. I don't know. Maybe they can. I don't think they would though. It's because it's different this year, Jonathan. So last year the grade 8 and the invitational were combined points. They were two different races, but they were combined for the total points. This year the grade 8 is its own race with its own points. Same with the invitational. So being that it was the first, you gotta remember, last week in Virginia was the first points race. The first week was not a points race, it was just a qualifying race. So the season really didn't start points wise until Virginia. So Ryan won the grade 8, got 10 points for the grade 8, but the invitational is a totally different race and its own set of points. So that's why Ryan is not in the grade 8 this week. Now, if it was last year, Ryan would have been in the grade 8 coming into this week, because they would have combined his win in the grade 8 with how he did in the invitational, and he would have had enough points then to make the grade 8 for the following week. So hope you understand it. I know it's weird. It's kind of confusing, but Tony, what position did you play in football? In high school, I played running back and linebacker, and then in college, I played linebacker. In semi-pro, I played linebacker. Pretty much linebacker my whole life. Is Reaper a dick in person like on YouTube? No, he's not. And I'll be honest with you, from what I've met of all the guys, any of the guys you think might be a dick on TV, they're not a dick in person. So Reaper's definitely not a dick. Reaper's a nice guy. I met Reaper last time I was at the race. Cool dude. Got a sweet car. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. No, it's not the top three, Dan. It's the entire team. It's all 5 guys. Points count. Whose team is ahead? Mini. Kai's team is ahead. They have 140 points. And then second place is a tie between Daddy Dave's team and Bodie's team. They both have 90 points. Basically, just however many points a person earns on Saturday, you just add up all those people on that team, and that's their total score for Saturday. Do I think Rogue will do this? I do. I think Damon. I think that's it's tough when you're fast and you are new and you're trying to make your name and you go around here, go a couple rounds here, but you don't really get to that final. I mean, Damon smelt the final now. You know what I mean? His confidence it can't get any higher. And I think now he knows what he needs to run. He knows what he needs to do. So any kind of nerves I think he had are probably gone now. He beat some big names. He beat Lizzie. He beat Scott. So I think Damon's going to do well for the rest of the year for sure. Who is your NFL team? I live in Green Bay. I've been living in Wisconsin most of my life. I was born and raised here. So definitely Green Bay Packers. Billy. Who's Billy? Has Billy ran yet? Billy. Yep. So it should be a good weekend. If you're thinking about going, you need to go. You need to go for sure, man. You're gonna love it. It's an experience all week. Just reading the text message. It's an experience all weekend, I should say. It's a great time. I can't wait to go. This will be my second time going to Brainerd. I went last year as well. So it's a closer race for me. It's only close race, I guess, but it's only 7 hours away. So I'll be leaving Friday morning to make the trek there early Friday. Hopefully get there around noon, right when the gates open up. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be this year is already turning out to be what I thought it was gonna be for competition wise. You got a lot of big names racing their way in. You got a lot of unknowns going far. So it's gonna be awesome, man. I can't wait. Is there an individual points leader yet? Yes. The individual points is just the grade A, and that's Ryan. Ryan has 10 points because he won the first grade A. Kai is in second with 7 points, and then Chuck 55. Who is it? Chuck 55 and Kayla are tied for third with 3 points. Appreciate it, Tony. How many events are you going to make, Rodney? We'll see. I don't know exactly, but for sure this weekend, and then there's another Ohio race. There's a Michigan race. Colorado. Everybody wants me to go to Colorado. It's the last race there, so trying to make Colorado, and then I'm for sure going to go to Texas. So at least 4 or 5 more races. I might do more. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just happy I got the points because last year no one seemed to know the points, and with the grade 8 was a new concept and everything, and it was the points are really confusing last year. I always have the stats right, or the stats are easy because I watch the race and I keep track of the wins and losses. So that's nothing new, but I'm just happy I got the points correct this year right from the start, so I can keep track all year, give you guys updates. But looks like that's it for questions. Appreciate you guys coming on. They don't start till late on Friday. Normally then run to it. Yeah, Ralph, I know. So my dad will be coming to this race, and he's probably happy that they're starting early, so he can get home and get to bed early. Because I told him when we went to Ohio, I said, I don't know, Ohio actually had a curfew, I think. I think Ohio had a curfew, or Virginia did. But anyway, I said some of the tracks don't have curfews yet, and I said some of them they race until like 3 or 4 in the morning. So, but I think he's pretty happy that Brainerd does not have lights, so they can't race that late. But anyway, appreciate you guys coming on again. This was fun. I might do a show tomorrow night with a driver. We'll see. Otherwise, I'll be in Brainerd this weekend. I'll have all the updates as soon as I get them, who won, stuff like that, and all the stats. So thanks again. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you later.